All right, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Salakia. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay. Woo. Salakia almost got locked out of one of our accounts. Lord Jesus. Let me turn the volume down here. Bam. Shout out to everybody. This is a members only chat. Right. So shout out to all the members. If you want to become a member, the link is in the chat. The link is also in the description below. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Right. Shabbat Shalom. I'm just sharing it in a few more places. Please make sure that you like and share the video, ladies and gentlemen. Like and share the video. Like and share the video. Right. I've been literally sending it via text message. Sending it via text message to just get it out there. Right. Can you hear me, Yahawanathan? Oh, I think you're not muted. Oh, that microphone's been having issues.
Hold on, I just turned that.
I'm gonna mute you for now. All right, all praise to the Most High. Oh, praise! Shout out Yaharshan in the building. Oh, snap, yo, Yaharshan. What? Why the fuck did it log me out? Shalakia. All right, bet. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Shout out to Yaharshan. I'm gonna share it in the Discord now. Also, I'm gonna share now in the Discord. Also, Shalakia. Bam. Make sure y'all tap in on the Discord. All right, join the Discord as well. That is free. So, bam, I shared it on Facebook, Twitter. I shared it via text message. I got to create a post so that my rib can start sharing it on Instagram as well, Lord willing. Salakia. Where is it at? 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 Trap Stars. Did I create it on this phone? No, I didn't. Let me do this. Salak. But yeah, man, as y'all get in here, man, hit that like button, share the video, share the video, share the video. Right? All those things are important. Trying to create this. Oh, praise. Shout out, brother Malik. Just hit me on the text. Let me know he's gonna be a member by the day, Lord willing. Oh, I gotta turn it into. All right, I'll do that later. Shout out Turtle Hustling. Yahweh Shmi Hashabakatah, want the water for your generous and continuous support. All right, just so everybody remembers, it is lawful to do good on the Shabbat. If you're looking to donate, you can do so. All right, because we do still need 38 people to give $25, and $25 from 38 people. That is for the school, that is for the ministry, so that we can continue pushing this word out. That is a goal that we set monthly. That the believers, the church, the congregation, the viewers, etc., um, have agreed to keeping up by Shema Mashiach Yahushua may be the Lord's will. So now, actually, with that brother, right, Turtle hustling, now we only need 38 people to give $25 from 38 people. I know where else I gotta share that. I gotta share it on YouTube itself. All praise to the Most High. We are live. This is a members only chat. Unless you do something what Turtle Hustling did. You know what I'm saying? He did something powerful, praise the Lord. Right? Bam. Salakia. Right? Oh my goodness. Uh sharing it. What's the Torah portion that we're going over today? Hold on, you're still muted. Go ahead.
What you said? What is it?
Yeah, what is the Torah portion for today?
What do you mean, like the title?
No, Torah portion. Like what are we reading basically?
Oh, really? It's just a verse, but I'm gonna go just from this verse to basically. You could just start with Deuteronomy 30:19.
Oh, okay, Con, I got you. Did I share it already on my YouTube? I think I did. Let me see. No, I did not. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing the video. Also, shout out to brother Amaraya, Yahabashimi Ashabrakata, Wata Wata. All right, for your generous and continued support. All right. Remember we are still praying for our people, praying for our land, and praying for our people, praying for physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, agricultural, and financial health with stability. And we are doing so by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, man. Make sure you keep them prayers up for each and every individual. All right, any and every all Israelites spread to the four corners of the earth. By Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua, man. All praises, honor, and glory to you, how by Hashem Yahushua, man. Right? Bam, bam. Right. And also, now, just like every other live video, we are looking to receive 10 super chats. That's on every single live video. 10 super chats. They can be as low as 99 cents. They can be as low as 99 cents. Anything and everything does indeed help, especially when we do it together. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Right. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1 says, gather yourselves together. Right. So that's what we're going to do here on this holy Shabbat day. Shout out to brother Yamar Shan. Water for your generous and continuous support, hitting that cash up again. Guess what, guys? Now we only need 36 more people to give $25. $25 from 36 more people. All praises. All right. But anyways, without any further ado, Shabbat Shalom. All right, Shabbat Shalom. Let's go ahead and we're gonna get into the lesson. Priest, where did you say we starting at again, Baba Kashan?
Deuteronomy 30:19.
Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Bam. Hold on. One second. Salakia. Okay, let me do this. Call forwarding, disable. Bam. All right. Cool. We in the business. So now, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30. Doesn't it, you said 32 and 19?
No, 30 and 19.
30 and 19. I put that in, it didn't come up. Oh, maybe I typed in, maybe an extra space. All right, come on. Hold on, Salakia. Do you mind if I get the other two scriptures that we typically would read also?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
All right, Khan. Let's get Matthew chapter 23. Definitely got to stick with these two scriptures as the opener. right? So that you guys can understand this is something that needs to be done by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right here, the book of Matthew, chapter 23, starting at verse 34. Let me go ahead and put the red letter on. These are Mashiach Yahushua's words. Matthew chapter 23 and verse 34 says, "Therefore I am sending you prophets and wise men and teachers of religious law. But you will kill some by crucifixion, and you will flog others with whips in your synagogues, chasing them from city to city." So we see Mashiach Yahushua said he would send us prophets, wise men, and teachers of religious law, right? Then let's go to Acts 15. The book of Acts, chapter 15, starting in verse 21. For these laws of Moses have been preached in Jewish synagogues in every city on every Sabbath for many generations. So this is a tradition, right, that does need to continue: the teaching, the preaching, the convocating, the convoking of the word of the Most High God, the laws given to um, the laws given to the nation of Israel. All right. All praise to the Most High. So now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19.
You can
All
put it in
right.
the NLT.
Khan.
Yeah, I like that
Indeed.
better.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 19. "Today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life so that you and your descendants might live."
Con. So I've been pondering on this a while, especially Ahmataza's mom been saying it a lot. And another thing I've been hearing also is obedience is better than sacrifice, right?
Khan.
So it's like we say these things over and over and over again, right? And but are we actually applying it on our daily lives, right? Same for me, because this is when I say I do these lessons, I think about me first before anybody else, right? I don't want to teach and be a hypocrite, so I tell myself these things before I tell anybody else. So it's like we say these things, but are we choosing life on a daily basis, right? And because there's times where not I'm not saying it is true or it could be like on a conscious level, but subconsciously we do things that we tend to still hold on to, that's how you say connecting to this world and not to the most high, right? Say like it could be anger, it could be your mouth, just the way you talk to people. It could be when someone asks you something, you tell them no when they really needed it and you had it, but you still chose to say no. Little stuff like that, right? This is a difference between choosing life and choosing death. You may not think it's a big thing, but to Yahawashi and to the Most High is a big thing, right? Because over and over again, they taught us how to, compassion, be peacemakers, this, that. It's a lot. There's a lot that comes with it. Is a lot that comes with choosing life. Choosing life means you're gonna suffer. Choosing life means you're gonna cry. Choosing life means you're gonna have to hold all of this in and endure it and catch it to the Most High. But if you choose death, what are you gonna do? You're gonna cry about it, lash out on everybody, curse at them, fight people, argue, don't do nothing to how you say to to better your life just to get closer to the Most High. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna suffer regardless, whether it's for righteousness or wickedness. You're gonna suffer. So it's better to
Khan.
suffer for righteousness, right?
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, you know what? The Most High He's testing you. He's testing you on what you're choosing. He gave you a choice. He said you have a choice to choose life or to choose death, right? So I'm gonna go through examples of how to choose life and what does it mean when we choose life and stuff that we choose death, right? Let's go to
Khan.
Proverbs.
Real quick scripture, if I may.
Oh, definitely. Oh, wow.
Khan. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 14. "So be happy when you are insulted for being a Christian, for then the glorious Spirit of God rests upon you. If you suffer, however, it must not be for murder, stealing, making trouble, or prying into other people's affairs. But it is no shame to suffer for being a Christian. Praise God for the evil privilege of being called by his name."
Khan, all praises to the Most High. Because you see, Yahweh Shai, he was suffering. he was suffering on a daily basis, looking at his people, this and that. But he was not a troublemaker. He was not prying into people's affairs. A lot of times he was to himself. He was to himself, and everybody came to him with their troubles, right? People, you see murderers. It's a lot, but at the end of the day, he endured it. He's teaching us something that we need to learn to endure to the end. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all gonna suffer one way or another, right? Let me get Proverbs 15. I think that's a 4. 15 and 4.
We're back in the KJV.
Yeah, you would get KJV.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 4. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit.
So you see, our tongue, it can bring, it can, how you say it? If we control our tongue, it is the tree of life, right? It is the pleasure to the Most High. How we speak to each other, how we're kind to each other, how we um communicate with each other, right? The enemy has taught us to talk to each other in a disrespectful way, and we take it as is a normal thing, right? It's like we're become so desensitized where if somebody says something to me and I become so sensitive about it, now I'm lashing out at that person when I could have control my that person didn't know how to control their tongue, but I didn't know how to control my anger, right?
Hmm.
It kind of this is where we both didn't see the attributes that we could have had of controlling our tongue and our anger, right? Because your tongue can either spit at fire or spit fire,
Right.
right? So let me now give you an
Or
example.
blow on it, you mean? Pause.
Yeah, yeah. So let me show you an example of choosing death. Proverbs 18 and 21.
Con.
Because at the end of the day, this is a daily exercise, right? That Paul was kind of teaching us. He was saying like we war with ourselves every single day, and this is a war. It's a war within your mind, your thoughts, and it all came from somewhere. It all came from your childhood. It came from you got disrespected. It came from something, It, but that's the thing is, we have to learn to grow up from out of that. We have to talk to that inner child and say, you're gonna be all right. And you know what? That little child has to grow up one day. It has to face the world for what it really is. Because this is what I have to teach my children. The things that my parents didn't teach me, I have to teach my children this, right? Why? Because I don't want them growing to the to I don't want them. I don't want to throw them into a jungle and they don't know how to fight lions, bears, this and that. The lions, the
Con.
bears, the snakes. That's your anger. That's manipulative people. That's this. That's that. It's stealers, murderers. It's everything out here. We live in a concrete jungle right now, right? This concrete jungle is not safe, but we have to make it safe. We have to teach our children to be stronger, right? To guard their hearts, guard their mouth, guard their thoughts. That way they can succeed in life, right? Because a lot of times we were far behind because nobody taught us this, right? Salakia. Yeah, the Proverbs 18 and 21.
Con. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, and verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
Gone. So it's like you're gonna bear fruits. It's either you're gonna eat thorn bushes or cactuses, or you're gonna eat an apple or cherry or mangoes, right? So it's in the tongue. So if I'm choosing life, I want to eat mangoes. I want to eat fruits that the Most High gave me, right? Because that's what it is. But if I'm choosing death, you know what I'm gonna eat? I'm gonna eat garbage. I'm gonna eat dung. I'm gonna eat this stuff that those are curses, right? These are curses that we keep putting ourselves over and over and over again, right? And like I said, I had to learn this because like growing up with the Haitian dad, man, we don't know how to hold our tongue a lot. We don't Haitians don't know how to hold their anger. They don't know how to hold their tongue. We just get mad and just start saying garbage. But at the end of the day, that's why you can see a lot of Haitians they die faster. Why? Because it's a thing that they keep doing over and over again and they haven't learned from it. But it's time to learn from all these mistakes because time is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. You already see what's happening right now. It's not time to be playing around or like doing foolish things right now. It's no time for that, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to be caught blameless. When Yahushua gets here, we want to be found blameless. Because if I'm here running my mouth, or they catch me with anger, I could die in that instance. I don't want to die in this mountain. I want to die here over there, or in a kingdom. I don't want to be here where, in this wickedness, in this evilness, where it's like doesn't produce no great fruit. There's no value here, right? Let me get Proverbs 23:9. So like, I'm gonna turn the air down.
Con All praise to the Most High. Meanwhile, we wait for the priest to get back, man. Shout out to everybody joining us. Shout out to everybody joining us. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share the video. Even though it's a members only chat, hit that like button and share the video. Make somebody want to become a member today. All right, we love our members. We show love to our members and we give back to our members. All right, all praise to the Most High, man. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, become a member, man. The link is right there in the chat. And then also the Discord link is at the top of the chat. The Discord link is at the top of the chat, especially on Shabbat days. You know what I'm saying? We can link with each other and talk, etc. We're gonna open up new channels soon enough on that Discord. May it be the Lord's will, man. All praise to the Most High. Back to the class. You said 28:9, right?
23:9.
23:9. Salakia. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 9. Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words.
So wisdom is upon us. Wisdom, she looks for us, but we always turning our back on wisdom, right? It's this thing where I remember Ahmataza, he used to always say that, like, he said somebody's always our ears are scratching, but we were looking for the wrong people to scratch our itching ears, right? I said scratch itch. So we're always looking for the wrong people. So we looking for like pastors, this, that. They're always telling lies, this and that. That's kind of choosing death in a way, because it's like I'm always, instead of looking for the wise wisdom and I don't adhere to it, and say, like, I go to Rab, right, asking for some wisdom. He gives it to me. I still don't take it. It was wise though. It was wise wisdom. I didn't take it. Instead, I went to somebody else. I'm listening to nonsense from other people, and then a lot of times we listen to people that usually gossip. So we listen to people that gossip this and that, and I found myself around a lot of people like that, and then I start to observe like the type of people that I'm around. So if I want to be with the godly people, I have to remove myself from certain situations, right? I always have to do that, because it's like I have to guard myself. I have to guard my thoughts, my feelings, my everything. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, if I know who I am, who I really am, I know I'm a priest of God. So I have to act like a priest of God. I have to surround myself with priests of gods, right? So if I'm gonna do that, I cannot be with certain people that want to conform to the world, conform to society. They want to get the vaccinations. So I love to be around people that's like-minded. Right? I asked for a prayer, the Most High gave it to me. You know what He gave me? My brothers. He gave me these brothers that I'm always around with. That's and my ears was itching for something, but it was itching to hear the Most High's words. That's what it was itching for. But a lot of times I, find myself doing, like listening to stuff I shouldn't be listening to, right? But going on, let me get Proverbs. Man, I got horrible handwriting. 15 and 18.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 18.
Yeah.
That's all right. Doctors have the worst handwriting.
Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 18. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeases strife.
So you see, a wrathful man stir up strife. So a lot of time, like I said, I've been around people that are very wrathful, and who I became wrathful as well. Why? Because it's like there's something that we all grew up in, a traumatic thing, and when I started to see how wrathful I am and these people are, my so-called friends from back then, I had to keep praying to the Most High. Bro, it's like I kept telling myself, I don't want to be angry. I want to be, a loving man and have a family, this and that. because I used to be very happy like a child, but something broke every one of us as a child, where we grew up and we just started acting very crazy. And we can't blame. I mean, of course, we can blame their neighborhood and this and that, but we have to also, how you say, take accountability of who we are and what we are doing on a daily basis. How are we talking to somebody? How are we treating these people? How are we really listening to them? Is a lesson that, especially if you have a wife and children, this is something you have to take account for, because this is how you're going to manage your own household. If you can't understand them, you can't understand anybody in the world, right? Because it's like, how can you listen to somebody but you can't even listen to your wife or your children for what they're really saying? So, and what I mean by that is like, say like a man, right? He'll come from work, be so tired and so angry and this and that, but it's like he don't seem understanding to the family. But it kind of goes both ways. I had to learn this on my own as a child, because I used to see my dad like that, right? Over and over again, he'll be so angry and wrathful. But what I'm learning right now is, if I knew what I'm learning now, what I knew then, I'll talk to my dad more. I'll try to figure stuff out or this or that. But it's not about this or that. It's about learning how to communicate, how to deal with our own emotions. Because I understand now that we're highly emotional people. And the thing is, we either, as men, we like to hide our emotions so much that it kind of breaks us. It gets to a breaking point, and then we become more wrathful because we never dealt with the trauma we had when we were little, if you understand what I mean. We all have this built-in trauma from younger days, right? I can see all my brothers have something. I could see Rob, Ahmataza, this person, that person. It's not saying we all have very highly traumatic things, but it's something that we have to deal with, that kind of interferes with our adult lives, right? For me, I could say there's times I could deal with insecurity, this and that, whatever. But as a grown man, now I'm learning to choose life. This is in my daily mind. This is a meditation thing for me, like my affirmations. I had to tell myself, choose life, choose life, choose life. If somebody tell me something that I didn't want to hear, well, you know what I had to tell myself? Choose life, choose life. I just keep repeating it over and over again. So now I'm choosing. Now I'm telling myself to choose life. Now I'm meditating on the Most High. Now that I'm meditating on the Most High, He is teaching me certain things that I didn't see before, right? And how to deal with it. He's saying, you know what, that person did say something to you. Relax, calm down. It's not meant for you. It's just an opinion. So you don't have to be mad. You don't have to be mad at the world. Everything wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build you up, but you have to be broken down. You have to break all those walls you built up by yourself. The Most High didn't build those walls up for you. You built it up. We built up this a stony heart to the whole world, and we didn't know how to accept it. We ran away from our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, because we thought, as a man or as a independent woman, we cannot have emotions in this time. But that's wrong. We need to have emotions, but we need to regulate them. We need to understand how to use them properly, because we're not using them properly, right? We're not. We're all over the place. We're the most, and you can see why we're the act so erratic, right? Our brain is all over the place. When we go to school, when we go to church, we go here, we go there. We don't feel safe anywhere, and we're always on survival mode. We're running on stress hormones. But the thing is, we have to, yeah, break the cycle. We have to learn to break the cycle, which is why this is when I was doing this lesson. That's exactly what I was thinking about, breaking the cycle. The only way you can break the cycle is by believing you're going to choose life. You can tell yourself anything you want, but you have to really, really, really believe it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the Most High. You have to believe Yahushai. You have to have faith. And a lot of times, like I always say, I question myself, how much faith do I really have? As much things as I went through, how much faith do I really have? Because because the Most High knows us more than we know ourselves, right? He knows something that you didn't know. But the thing is, he's trying to show you who you really are. He's giving you people in front of your faces to remind you who you are. There's times where he puts somebody in front of my face and this person is making me mad, but that person shouldn't be making me mad. Get it? If you understand what I mean. Nobody
Con.
should be making me mad. I'm the only one that had control over myself, but I gave my power to somebody else. Choosing
Right.
life means I cannot give my power to nobody, right? Choosing life means I can't get mad if somebody says something to me. I accepted that. That's why I got mad. I took it. I took something that wasn't for me and I took it. It's the same thing when we're you know what, I just lost a thought. Forget it. Just went right through my head. Let me get Proverbs 12:1.
Con. The book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 1. Still in the KJV. It says, oh, Salak. Spoke. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction loveth knowledge, but he that hateth reproof is brutish.
So if you love instructions, you love the Most High, and you're saying you're choosing life, there is no way where we can follow these law, statutes, commandments, and we cannot, you know, talk to our people the same way we keep talking to them over and over again, right? Because it's like I find it funny that we talk to our actual enemies with kindness. I've heard people we talk to them like they're they're the one that have they're the one that should have this much respect from us. But when it comes to our own people, no respect at all, right? So if I'm instructed to gather with my people, why am I talking to them a certain way? The Most High gave me all these instructions. I have to learn to communicate with them, talk to them, this and that. Because if we go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 54, that's exactly what happened. We turned on our own people. We turned on our own wives. We turned on our own children. We talked to them. We basically chose death. We chose death. We broke the covering. We broke the umbrella. We don't now. My household has no covering when I'm the one that broke that, right? That's choosing death. Choosing death means I'm the one that put my children and my wife somewhere else, not mentally or physically, but spiritually,
Con.
right? Let me get.
I have a quick scripture right quick for
Uh,
what you said about people taking the joy, right? This book of John, chapter 16 and verse 22. Let me get the red letter again. Come on. There we go. The book of John, chapter 16 and verse 22. And it says, and you now, therefore, have sorrow, but I will see you again. So Yahawashi, right? He's talking to the disciples. He's letting them know, I know you're sad, etc. Right? Just like Yahawanathan is letting us know, or teaching and demonstrating. We all know that we're in captivity right now. We have rough life, and we all come from rough childhoods or have previous experiences that has caused us to have coping mechanisms that may not be the most healthy or are not the most healthy, right? Yahawashi said, you now therefore have sorrow, right? But I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice. Your joy no man taketh from you. Yahweh Shai has already affirmed this, that Yahawanathan is teaching us about how when something else is occurring and we allow it to take our joy, take our happiness, take our self-respect, right? Just like he said, mom teaches us so many things. The elders, Zaquan Raphael, Zaquan Dabara down here in Miami, they teach us so many things, right? That Israel truly is indeed in need of, right? And of course, one of the things that I'm going to share is that Zaquan Dabara says no person can disrespect her, right? Because she doesn't receive it, right? The only way is if she was to receive it and lash out. Then she would then be disrespectful or disrespected because she's removing her own self-respect. Other people, all they do is disrespect themselves. They can't disrespect you so long as you hold on to that. So you remain happy, remain joyful so long as you hold on to that, right? All praise to the Most High. Shout out to Chief Sister Princess Erica joining us. Shout out to Sister Stephanie joining us. Hit that like button when you get in here, man. Share the video when you get in here. Praise the Lord. What's the next scripture, Bible Show?
Let me get Leviticus 19 and 16 and 18.
Come on. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Verse
Uh,
17. Oh,
uh
Salakia.
select it. So you, I think it was a post that you put. I forgot. Basically saying like, I'm not sure it was you, but I've seen it on Facebook a couple of times where a couple of people saying like we want to tell our problem to our people, but we can't because there's too many gossipers, right? It's like once you express yourself, express your thought, express your feelings, you would think they would help you, but instead of helping you, they kind of shut you down or they went behind your back and talked about you. And this is kind of a thing that our people have a habit of doing. Whether you're in the truth or not, doesn't matter. Truth or not, like we need to stop doing this. We need to start telling our people that this is where gossip leads. Because I've seen a lot of people, or I've known a lot of people got killed. They died because of some type of gossip that was even true, right? I've heard gossip before on me before. Nowhere have I even had nothing to do with anything, but yet I was something or a part of some type of gossip. But you know what I do with that? I talk to the Most High. Me, in my mind, when I say I'm gonna choose life, I don't go to the person and start cursing at them, getting mad and say, "Why are you lying on me?" This and that. You know what I do when I say I choose life? I cast my burden to the Most High, right? I cast my burden to the Most High because He said He will deal with it. I have to trust that He will deal with it. A lot of times is when I question myself when I write these verses. I was like, did I even trust Him at the time when I went out and did it on my own, or this or that? Because He's the one that can give you the money. He's the one that can do anything for you. But yet we still trust our own self, right? We keep trusting ourselves. I keep trusting my own hands. I trust my own feet, and I have to stop doing that because I don't trust it anymore. You know how many times my hands and my feet failed me? It could just drop on me, and that was the Most High that did that because I trusted my own feet, right? But instead, I'm supposed to be trusting the Most High because He's the one that can make my feet walk even longer or more distance, right? He's the one that can give me the strength to keep going. But at the end of the day, we need to start telling our people, you know, it's not hard, with the Most High and Yahawashi with you, you just have to believe it. You have to really, really strongly believe it. You have to believe in yourself, first of all, and believe the Most High. Because a lot of times when we don't believe ourselves, we don't, we limit ourselves. A lot of, I've noticed that, like I said, I've noticed that with myself. I limited myself. I thought I couldn't even gone this far, and look where I'm at right now. You have to prove to yourself. The Most High knows who you are. He didn't keep you alive for no reason. I'm talking to you, Princess Erica, because it's not hard. It's not hard. Just trust the Most High and He got you. Keep praying. Keep praying. Salakia, Rob, you can keep reading.
Yes, I can. So back in Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16 again from the top, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Verse 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
So hold on. So a lot of times, you don't have to use the word hate. When like earlier, like you see your brother struggling, I'm not talking about your actual, you see a brother or sister in the streets or this or that struggling, we have to help them, right? It's like, if how can you walk by somebody? I'm not talking about giving them money and this and that. I'm talking about like actually like really helping our people out no matter what. Because I'm not saying you hate them, but sometimes you can walk past them and just ignore them. That's, it's not hate to you, but to Yahawashi or to the Most High. He's saying like, how can you just leave your people behind like that? We're supposed to be taking care of them, because if Yahawashi was here, I don't think he will be just walking past people like that, right? We have to help who we can and who wants to help. I'm not saying help everybody. I help who I see wants to help. When I see my people under the bridge in Overtown in Miami, I want to help them. I can't help all of them because some of them wants money. They don't want my food. They want money. They want drugs. They want this. So I can't help that person. I can pray for that person. I can, beg the Most High to heal all these people that I'm looking at. But I can't, do what I can. But still, pray for your people. That's the best you can do, is pray for them. Pray for our people is the best thing we can do. I can't always give food and money and this and that. I can't give you when I don't have, but what I will do is I'm gonna pray for you. right? I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna be like, well, Mosai, I remember this person. Help this person. That's the people I want to help out. That's the people that loves being helped, and I want to help them, and I hope the Mosai sees them for that.
Con.
Let me get Proverbs 14:30.
Con. The book of Proverbs. You said 14 and 30.
Yeah, yeah.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones.
Cause you see, you can see it says a sound heart is the life of the flesh. Let me see that in the LT, right quick.
NLT, you said?
Yeah. I just want to see how it says.
Con, the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 30, in the New Living Translation. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones.
Con. But you see it again, peaceful heart. Yahawashi talks about having a peaceful heart. The amount of things he goes through. I like to stay in the Old Testament a lot. I'm not saying I have anything against the New Testament because I'm a Levite. I'm always reading Torahs, anything that has to do with the Levites and what they did. But now I'm looking more into what Yahawashi did because he's the one that you can see he's the one that endured every single thing. If I can compare Moses and Yahawashi, Moses still kind of failed in a way, right? Because he still had anger in him. Yahawashi didn't. Yahawashi could be angry, but still you don't see it. Like you see how much compassion he still had. Although Moses still had his compassion and this and that, he still died for a reason. He still died for a reason, because of his anger. And that's he. I look at Moses a lot because a lot of Haitians have anger. They have anger issues. So I look at him. I look at his mistakes to teach me what not to do. That's why I don't. I look at him like it's like what I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be talking like that. I take notes, mental notes, and then I look at Yahawashi. I say, you know what? I should be doing that instead. I said, this is how I should say. That's how I should say. I shouldn't be just going around yelling at people because I'm a Levite or doing this and that. I should be doing what Yahawashi is doing right now because that's he's the one that's teaching us what to do. He's the one that's showing us what a peaceful world it can be if we all act according to how it's supposed to be, right? Because it's like what we're doing right now is it's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Well, I'm speaking for me in general because it's like my anger is holding me into the world, but I can do all this work, but it wouldn't matter. It would not matter because at the end of the day, I can just die right before right before Judgment Day, right? So, we finished reading that.
Con, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 30.
Oh yeah, come on. So let me get Proverbs 6 and 16, all the way to 19.
Con is the book of Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren. That was verse 19.
So you see, this is choosing death. All this stuff right here is abominable to the Most High. Choosing death. How can you be proud? You're not proud of who you are, but you have a proud look. You're proud because you have money. You're proud because of this. You're proud because you have a car, and that's not something to be proud for. Because at the end of the day, it's like, what is there to be proud when you're about to die? You're about to be, missile food. What is there to be proud for? Lying tongue. There's too many lying people. Most guys hate that. Just because you're lying. I didn't we just talked to a guy at camp. He says he'll lie for what he said to be nice or something.
Basically sparing the other person's feelings.
Yeah, you see, but if I love that person, why am I sparing your feelings? If I love you, I'm telling you the truth. At least I'm telling you the honest truth. I'm not lying to you, because at the end of the day, sparing somebody's feelings, it might end up being way worse. Shedding innocent
Right.
blood, especially your heart. Your heart devises wicked imaginations. That's exactly where every single thing starts from. Your heart, your heart, your thoughts. Your imagination. It always starts from a thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you're like 60-year old, and then you're thinking about something that happened when you were 12 years old. That was just a thought. Now your thought, that was a mustard seed. Now it just grew into a whole big tree. Now you have hatred in your heart just because of a little thought. But you know that who does that? That's Satan. He's in your left ear, talking in your ear all day, right? You just have to ask the Most High for discernment. Remove that spirit. But get the spirit of discernment so you can understand who's talking to you in your ear.
Con.
Is your left ear, your right ear? Somebody's talking to you. I don't know if you guys watched a show called Charm. You ever watch it, Rob?
No, I mean, wait, is it that like it's like a witch movie or something?
Is a show, but with three sisters witches. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm familiar with it. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So right. So there's these three witches. They're sisters. I think there was four sisters, but regardless, they're sisters, and they're in the physical realm. And in the spiritual realm, there's a guy meditating in a hole somewhere in a cave, wherever, right? But he's supposed to be like a left-sided spirit demon, just talking in your ear. He just whispers in your ear. He's in somewhere else, but he's in your ear talking all day, telling you lies all day. But who do you think does that? That's what they do all day. But you have to
Mhm.
learn to not listen to them. If you're gonna choose life, you have to keep rebuking those evil spirits talking in your ear all day. They just want you to be back in that safe space that you created on yourself, because we all do this. Because I forget how you call it. It's like a coping mechanism. It's a
Yeah.
coping mechanism that we all do. We all do it, but we just don't understand why we do it or the subconscious level of it. But once you get to psychology, you're gonna start to see a lot of times we do a lot of these things over and over again. Even as a child, we learned to either because it's either you can, how you say it. It's like being prideful. It can either be too prideful or you can be insecure. Either way, you have to learn to regulate it. Somebody's going to be so prideful, and there's somebody that's going to be so insecure. Either way, it's not positive either way. So where do you meet? You have to be in the middle. When you're in the middle, now you get more clarification. It's like putting yourself in a gray area where there's no expectation or you know high expectation of anything, because a lot of times, like I said, it's a mental thing. We're the one that's stressing ourselves out over and over again because we're choosing death. Like our coping mechanism chooses death on a daily basis. If you don't see that, that's our coping mechanism. We're attached to this world so much, and that's that's not your fault, but we've been corrupted so long that it's time for us to start waking up on these little things that's killing us on a daily basis, right? Because like I said, it's killing us. You don't know it, but it's killing you. Your stress, our eating habits, the way we do certain things is killing us. We could blame our parents, we could blame our society, we could blame school. At the end of the day, like I said, the Most High, He's showing you right now. Take this opportunity to develop all these attributes as we can before judgment comes, because we have to be found blameless. You can be found blameless if we're choosing death on a daily basis, right? So like you can continue.
Con, the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, again from 16.
Oh,
These
so like you read that already, right? The whole thing.
all the way to verse 18. Oh no, all the way to verse 19. Con.
Oh, so then let me get Proverbs 14 and 30.
Salakia, real quick, right? Because the last thing that you were just talking about, damn. What was the last thing that you were just mentioning? It escaped me.
Coping mechanism.
Coping mechanisms, right? And also before you mentioned how they can come from previous experiences, our childhood, our past life, if you will,
uh,
right? In verse 18, right here says that the Lord hates a heart that devises wicked imaginations. So, and we know in Paul's epistle to the Corinthians, he says that we're fighting against imaginations. He says that we're fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places,
uh,
right? And verse 18 in the NLT says, a heart that plots evil, right? Um, so we understand that even Yahawashi, what he say, that it's not what goes in the man, it's what comes out. So when we have these thoughts, right, if we feed them, that's what turns into our evil action. Our
con,
thoughts being fed, them being watered, that's what turns into the evil action. That's why the Most High God hates it. So when we see Yahweh Shai say something like, oh, it's not what goes in a man, it's what comes out, he's teaching something that we've already been taught, right? Even the book of Proverbs says that um, a foolish thought is sin, right? So we see the very same narrative being taught in the so-called Old Testament, in the New Testament with Jesus Christ's words, that we have to be more mindful. And also when it comes to following the law, statutes, and commandments, in the law, it says to be circumcised of the heart. That's of the mind, that's of the spirit, right? That's of the soul, to be walking in alignment with these law, statutes, and commandments, both in physicality, in spirit, and spirituality. Shout out to Brother Gazan in the chat. Shout out to everybody joining us, man. Hit that like button when you get in here. Hit that like button when you get in here. Hit that like button when you get in here, Baba Shah.
con. He says, I heard someone say demon's job is to kill you, whether it's slow or quick. Not necessarily, because it could keep you alive and it's just to teach you something that you should have known. It can kill you if you keep following it. That's the thing. It can be a slow death, a quick death, but it's really you choosing it. Because what wages of sin is death. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody keep sinning and sinning and sinning, just like you said, what if I'm the type of person that just keep like my heart devises evil plans or whatever, right? If I keep doing that, guess what I'm doing? I'm gossiping, I'm lying, I might think about stealing. It all starts from somewhere. So, it don't and but there's gonna be a time where the Most High still keeps me alive, right? But I can still die. You just never know. You just never know. It's the Most High's mercy. You know, He's the one that can choose whether to kill you or keep you alive. Because these same demons that's talking in my ear, you know what I do? I transmute that energy. I don't listen to them. I say, you know what? I know what you're doing. I said, now I know what to do now. Now that I know better, because I'm not a child anymore. Now I can teach my children what I didn't know. Because at the end of the day, I can't just sit here and keep allowing the same demons to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Like, what did I really learn this whole time? Right? What was that? Proverbs 4:23, right?
Con, the next one.
What you just read? Oh, that's 6 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get Proverbs 4:23.
22 or 23?
That one.
Con, the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So you see, he says guard your heart, because at the end of the day, it's your heart. Your heart, wherever your treasure is, your heart is, or wherever your heart is, your treasure is. So
Mm.
it's like if my heart is, if I'm gonna guard it, you have to protect it, because a lot of times we're letting Satan guard our heart and not the Most High, right? So it's like he keep telling us he's the one that's comforting us. I keep going back to the enemy instead of the Most High, but that's choosing death over and over again. And you see right here, it says, avoid all perverse talk, stay away from corrupt speech, stuff like that. That's guarding your heart. This is why when I read when I read the choose life and death, I was like, all of this is in Proverbs. Choosing life and death is all in Proverbs, right? It's showing you examples of how to choose life and what can lead you to death if you keep choosing it over and over again. Women, just lusting after women can be death. All this stuff is like, just like you said, Rob, mindfulness. That when I learned about meditation, it was mindfulness. You have to meditate on these laws, statutes, commandments, but you have to be mindful of every single thing. You know what comes with that? That's like wisdom. I said, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now you're gonna understand what was the whole point of doing everything that you know, right?
Con.
Because it's like you can have all these wisdom and still do the wrong thing. Look at Solomon. right? He still fell into temptation with demons at the end of the day.
Right.
So you can, at the end of the day, he didn't guard his heart like he was supposed to. You can see all these prophets, kings, and all the special people that's in the Bible. They didn't guard their heart like they were supposed to. But Yahushai, he's the best example of all of this. He's the one that showed us how to guard his heart. He's the one that showed us what ways to walk and what ways not to walk and what to do and what not to do. Just always be a peacemaker. Just be a peacemaker. That's not so hard, but for some reason we keep telling ourselves it's hard, it's hard, it's hard, right? But like I said, talking to the elders, she make me sound like I'm still a child. But you know what she's talking to? The little boy that's inside of me. That little boy
Con.
inside of me needs to learn all of this because nobody taught him that. But now I'm teaching that little boy that's within me, you know, like I said, I got you, little baby boy. You're a baby, but no, it's time to grow up. We have to grow up together. We have to. It's no time for this because I can't keep going back and forth to my childhood memories and back to an adult. That's not gonna work. Two spirits can be in one body. You know, it can't be left side and right side in one temple. It has to be either the right spirits or the left spirits, right? So if you're gonna guard your heart, make sure you have those right spirits with you at all times. But you have to learn that it comes with having the fruits of the spirits, not only the law, statutes, and commandments, but the fruits of the spirits. That's how you guard your heart. Guarding your heart is always being peaceful. No matter what comes your way, you're gonna have to be peaceful about it, right? Let me get Proverbs 16 and 25. That's like 6 and 25.
6 and what?
25.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 25. Don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glances seduce you.
So you see, here's another one for for the men though. We lust after beauty, and we how many times we get caught up in. We may not die physically, but we die mentally, right? Imagine all the baby fathers out there; they just want to see their kids and they can't, because of the woman they've been with, or all the traumatic things they've gone through. But you see, this is us choosing death over and over again. If I want to choose life, we have to learn to choose who I want to be with for the rest of my life and who is going to do this with me for the rest of my life, you know? But that's choosing life. Choosing life is always being mindful who you're marrying, who you're around, who you're talking to on a daily basis, who you're eating with. Who you're eating with is very valuable because, you can't break bread with anybody. You cannot just eat with anybody. That's very spiritual. In a black community, we take that very seriously because, we do barbecues. But guess what? Barbecues, birthday parties, people are always dying, right? Because there's no good fruit coming from those trees. Those are bad fruits. Those are thorn bushes that you don't see it. It looks good, but it's thorn bushes, right? We're trying to eat some good fruits over here.
Con.
So we can't just let anybody just come around you. Like I said, guard your heart, guard your spirit, guard your soul, guard your temple. Because we just can't be around anybody anymore. We have to learn to be very holy. Can't just be with anybody. Just hang with them. You can be with them, but don't do what they do. Hang around them like that, and get corrupted by the end of the day, right? Let me get Proverbs 29 and 11.
You all right, buddy?
Oh no, just talking a lot.
Yeah, I definitely should have got some water myself.
Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 11. A fool utters all his mind, but a wise man keeps it until afterwards.
So a fool, if he's gonna just express himself, blow up, this and that. A wise man, he's gonna be mindful. He's gonna think about it. He might talk to the Most High, and I believe that's what Yahushua did a lot because a lot of times dealing with all these people, guess what Yahushua did? He got on a boat and got off the boat somewhere else and talked to the Most High. He didn't just utter all his thoughts to everybody. He kept it to himself, and if somebody talked to him, he said, "Hey, this and that." He said kept it very short, and he go long winded, this and that. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're choosing life on a daily basis. These are like little thoughts to think about of what we're doing. I'm not giving you the whole breakdown of everything, but just know, like, you might do something here, do something there. Little thought. I mean, your thought might thought of something. I mean, your heart might have thought of something, and it was holding on to it. But it's time to let it go. We can't be eating Passover. We can't be doing all these I say holy days, and we're still have some type of anger in our heart for somebody else. Time to let all this stuff go. If we're trying to choose life, we have to learn to choose life and leave that anger alone. Leave these thoughts alone. Leave all this stuff alone. It's time to move on up. We're getting closer and closer and closer to our salvation. It's no time to be wasting. I would love all my people on this chat to be there. I want to see all of us in there. I don't even know who your faces are or what you look like, but when I get there, we'll know. We'll know. I'm gonna be like, wow, we was on the chat together. I appreciate every one of you because I can't do this by myself. The only a doctor cannot be a doctor without no patients, right? I'm not a how I say it, a priest without you guys. I cannot be a priest without you guys. I need you guys. I need to do my job for you guys to serve the Most High God. That's how it works. We all have to do this together, right? We all got something to do together. We all have something to help each other out. And once we get there, it'll be the best thing ever to the Most High. Why? It's because he get to see all his children in one accord. In one accord, that's so grateful. But right now, we're getting there. We're still practicing. This is where we had to practice, or I say, practice the righteous acts.
Con.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Let me get what it says. 29:11. Let me get Proverbs 6:32.
Con is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 32. But whoso commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He that does it destroys his own soul.
You see, so committing adultery. This is one of the things that I could say. I mean, you could go down the line and still it shows you how many things of choosing death. But this one, what I was trying to say is adultery. Look at King David killed a woman. I mean, killed a man for his girl. But if you could see, he did that. He was the man of the Most High's heart. He can fall. That means all of us have to be careful of what is going on our daily lives. If we see these great men like King David, Moses, Solomon, Samson, who's to say we cannot fall? We are gonna fall. If they can fall, we can fall. But we have to be stronger than they are, because we can learn from their mistakes. We can learn from their experiences. We can learn from all the things that the Bible was teaching us. The Bible didn't leave these things out for no reason. The Most High left it there so He can show us, don't be like that. I love this guy, but look, do better than what he just did. We can't be looking at other men's women. We can't. We just get your own woman. Do this, do that. But think about it.
Some niggas can't do that,
Yeah, King David had his
funny, though.
own. He could have all these women, but yet he chose a woman because sometimes that was his heart devises an evil thought. Because
Yeah.
why? He was telling himself, "Man, I can get all these women for free so easily, but that one is gonna be a challenge." He challenged himself and he won. But guess what? He won with Satan. He won on Satan's side. He didn't win. He didn't win on the Most High side. But that's what I'm saying is, choose life, choose death. That's on you. But I choose to choose life. If I want to choose life, and I see my brothers want to choose life, I'm going to choose life with them. Right? We're going to do this together. We're going to be strong together. This is how we're supposed to be. This is how we learn from each other. Because I didn't learn all of this on my own. I learned this by being with the people that the most I needed to be. Because I chose to choose life. If I chose death, guess where I would be? I would be somewhere in the slums doing the same thing over and over again. Not looking forward, but still looking backwards. Right. So,
real quick, shout out to Chief Sister Tanya in the building, man. Always showing love. Appreciate you, sis. Yahawanathan Ban Lawya for your generous and continuous support. All right. We are still looking for about 8 more super chats just for this live video alone. All right. Could be as low as 99 cents, guys. Make sure you guys are liking and sharing the video, subscribing to the channel. And again, join the Discord. The link is at the top of the chat. Praise the Lord.
That's the end of the lesson, though.
Okay. Well, all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Shemi Shai, man. Listen, guys, listen. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was kind of ready because I had the whole class to myself last time, so I was like, you know what? If he take the whole class, then it is because it's gonna be balanced like that. But so if you did
Oh,
have extra scriptures that you wanted to bring out,
I could. Definitely. It's not a lot, but yeah, I could do it.
yeah, let's do everything you got. You know, because there's only about 20 minutes left,
Oh,
anyways, and then
then I got time.
yeah, I got the entire class to myself last time, so you know what I'm saying. We need the priest. We had enough of Ephraim.
Come
Ephraim is a silly dove. Who knows what he's teaching?
come on. Hey, you're a great teacher, though.
Likewise, as you are. What was the next one you had?
Let me get Proverbs 8 and 13.
Proverbs 8. Bam. Con this book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate.
Come on. So again, try to hate evil. If you're gonna hate evil, that means stop choosing that. Being prideful. Prideful is a big thing in our community. You may not see it, but it's very big. Arrogancy, we can be very arrogant people, in an evil way, not in a nice way. And forward mouth, yes, we do have a we do have a mouth on us, and I could say that our women, our the men, we all got a mouth on each other. And Lord willing, the most I corrects that, because he got a puppets in our mouth sometimes. When I hear my children, do say something to their siblings, and I'm like, why would you say that? And just pop them in the mouth. That's what the most I need to do with us sometimes, right? Let me get James 1 and 12, because I'm gonna just read probably a lot from James.
Con, that is a powerful letter.
Yeah, and that's what every time I just keep thinking, I was like, man, James knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tired, excuse me, I'm gonna restart. This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him.
I'm gonna read all the way to 16. But look, it says, "Blessed is the man that endures temptation." But what is your temptation? What is something that you're holding on to that the Most High can't that He can use against you, but you are willing to overcome it though? Like I said, like for me, it's temptation. I said my temptation can be my anger. Someone tempt me with some type of whatever, and I get angry, but I have to see that. So that's why I'm gonna read all the way down, so you can understand what I'm saying.
Khan, I'm gonna start again. Real quick shout out to Sister Stephanie Yahawashi Shabrakata Wata Wata. That's the Most High God. In the name of His Son, bless you and thank you for your generous and continuous support. All praise to the Most High God. Appreciate you and the house. Appreciate the House of Juan over there. Feel me? Always showing love. We do and are looking for 7 more super chats for this live class. They can be as low as 99 cents, ladies and gentlemen. All praise, honor, and glory to you. How about Shemi Awashai? But without any further ado, James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is the man that endures temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Verse 14, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
So it's like, so you see right here, now that you thought you got away from what you thought you got away from, your own temptations, now the Most High is gonna put something in front of you just to see. He didn't tempt you though. You gotta understand that it was your something that you thought. Say like I said for me. So for an example, like I think I'm healed. I think I'm good, just because I didn't get angry or this or that or lash out at anybody. But you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna probably put my boss and start yelling at me and this and that, just to see am I gonna curse at this lady, or I'm gonna do this or do that. No, or maybe it could be your own people. It could be your wife. It could be your husband. It could be anybody, and he's gonna put something in front of you just to see, are you really practicing the fruits of the spirits, right? Because temptation is like, you got to understand, it could be anything. What is your own, what is your lust though? What is it? What are you lusting after? What are you being enticed by? It don't have to be by women. It could be by pork. It could be by smoking cigarettes. It could be by smoking weed or something. What if I keep smelling weed all day and I was like, man, now I want to smoke now I want to smoke some weed because I keep smelling weed. You know, that's because I haven't healed from that. So now I'm being tempted by my own lust, right? So we gotta understand certain things like that, because it's like the Most High is not gonna tempt you. He just put something in front of you that you thought you wasn't, that you thought you were healed from, but you really haven't fully healed yet. So this is why I'm. This is why I said this is why we had to learn to choose life, and not only that, be mindful of everything that can draw you away from the Most High, right? You just don't see it yet, but it's gonna be there, and that's when the Most High is showing you, so you can learn from it, so you can examine yourself. This is part of you examining yourself on a daily basis. If we say we examine ourselves daily and we still don't haven't graduated from certain things that we should have graduated from elementary, middle school, and high school, we're not there yet. Because a lot of times, like I said, our emotions is the biggest thing on our community. The blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, definitely I know blacks and Hispanics. We have a temper problem. We have emotional problems. We're holding on to emotional baggages. We haven't let go of a lot of traumatic things. But this is for you to learn, because when this time comes, the Most High is gonna test you. He's gonna test you to see, you know, are you worthy for this kingdom or not? You know, it's like if you can read verse 15 again.
Read verse 13.
Well, no, 15. Wait, that's where you stopped at, right? 14. 14.
On the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then, when lust has conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, brings forth death.
So you see, it
Wow.
started with somewhere. It started with your heart, or it started with your thought. It started with a thought, right? Then you brought it down to your heart, where it just manifested into reality. Now you brought it into reality. Now, the more you just keep doing it, now you just brought death into yourself. You know, the wages of sin. You know, sometimes, like I said, just because the Most High didn't kill you right then and there, you know, don't think he is not gonna punish you right then and there. He might have something better for you. It might be something worse. Who knows? So like we can read the last verse, and then we're gonna jump down to 19 all the way to 26.
Okay, Khan. This is the book of verse. Excuse me. This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Jumping down to verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man works not the righteousness of God.
So you see, that's why, like when I said, like I said, with Moses, when I look at him, you know, he had anger, but anger can lead to wrath, you know, and wrath don't work with the Most High God, because we're supposed to be long suffering. We're supposed to be more gentle to our people, you know. Even though they're gonna make us mad and angry, it don't matter. The Most High did that on purpose. He did that just to see what are you gonna do. So just because somebody did something to you or said something to you, that don't belong to you. It's you that you gotta work out your own salvation for. The Most High just use somebody just to see, are you really practicing, you're working out your salvation, or you're not, or are you just talking? You know, because a lot of times we just say stuff and we're not really doing it. So he's gonna say, you know what? I hear you talk a lot, but let me see your feet walking. You know, let me see how you're actually doing it. You know, he has a weight and balance. He's weighing it out. You know, he said some people are not fit for the kingdom. You know why? Because we talk a lot, and yet our actions don't even match up to the amount of times we said we were gonna do something. Right? Oh man.
Khan, you said reading the 26, right?
Yeah.
Khan, this book of James, chapter 1 and verse 21. Wherefore wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity, uh, Jesus, of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholds himself and goes his way, and straightway forgets what manner of man he was. But whoso looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
God, so you can see, and sometimes we do stuff and it didn't mean nothing. You can do all this work and you went back and do something back into like as you were still in the world, don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. So whatever we just did for the Most High was for nothing. You just did it for it's like you just working and you just have holes in your pocket all the whole time. That's what you're doing, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna guard your heart, guard it with the law, statutes, and commandments, guard it with the fruits of the spirits, because that's what's gonna bring us to the kingdom. Because if you're practicing it, there is nothing that should hold you down or hold you back away from the Most High God, right? Because only you can do that. Only we have the ability to do that, unless the Most High chooses not to do that for you. But at the end of the day, He said you have a choice: choose life or choose death. You know, if you're gonna choose life, choose it. But if you're gonna choose death, choose it. Because at the end of the day, you can't be hot or cold. You know, He's gonna spit you out because it don't make any sense to be in the kingdom and like I said, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Oh, I am doing the law, statutes, commandments, but you know what? My brother, I don't forgive him for what he did 3 years ago. He looked at my girl, he said something to me, this and that got me mad. I don't want to talk to him. I can't be like that. It doesn't work like that. The Most High don't work like that at all. Because at the end of the day, this is it's you working at your own salvation. So He's always gonna put tests in front of you just to see, are you really, down for what you're down for? If you're down for the Most High, you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna suffer for righteousness. You're gonna suffer for the better sake of this world, because humanity is doomed right now, and but we're the Most High is asking us to do what we can do so we can bring back our natural state again, how it's supposed to be. Right?
Con.
That was it though.
Oh, that's all of them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Um. So now, look, ladies and gentlemen, we do only have 10 minutes left. Right, we do only have 10 minutes left. All praise, honor, and glory to you. How about Shimi Al-Shai? I want to say something, man. Really big shout out to all the members, man. Always showing up. Let's spam the Levite flag emojis in the chat. The big priest, Yahawanathan, big trap priest over here in the building. Let's spam the Levite flags in the chat. I see we had 20 likes. Um, I see we got 20 likes on the video. All praise to the Most High, especially for it to be a members only chat. That's huge, man. We appreciate that. And then also, with all the collective and combined super chats from this live channel, we are now down to 35 people. We only need 35 people to give $25 and $25 from 35 people. This is for the month of May, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is for the month of May. So if you have it on your heart, can feel it in your spirit to continue helping keep the doors down here in Miami open. Let's go ahead and do it. Baba Kashaw, Wata Wata. Remember, we're doing it for the kids, man. Of course, we know we're doing it for God, right? Yahweh, we're doing it for our King. We're doing it for the nation, right? As far as a direct result, we're doing it for the kids, right? So let's see hashtag for the kids in the chat from the people, right? Let's see hashtag for the kids in the chat from the people. Baba Kashaw, Wata Wata, right? From all the members that are watching actively and effectively listening because they love the Lord God in heaven, right? Um, and of course, shout out to Yachty in the building. Rob, hit me up later. Lord willing, brother. I saw your text. I want to say the water for sharing. The water for sharing. Appreciate that. Right. And I'll definitely do my best to tap in with you later. All praises to the Most High. Right. um. But yeah, man. Um. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. All right. May the Lord's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Make sure you stay tapped in. Keep reading your Bibles. Keep reading the Torah. All right. Keep your spirit up. This is back to the Bible basics, man, with a little bit of a Torah reading, right? And we're gonna continue to do these things. You already know. Also, again, um, remember next Tuesday at even is the Feast of First Fruits, also known as Pentecost. It is the Feast of First Fruits, also known as Pentecost. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Shout out to the House of One again. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatah. Wata Wata. And again, that's the Most High God in the name of His Son. Bless thee and thank you. All right. Shout out to the House of One again. Now we are down to 34 people, ladies and gentlemen. Now we only need $25 from 34 people, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God in heaven. Right. All praise to the Most High God. And notice it says Shalom from Juan's daughters. All right. So again, we doing it. Hashtag for the kids, man. Hashtag for the kids, man. That's a powerful family that's joined the congregation. And we pray the Most High God. He can use each and every one of the individuals of those families, both individually and collectively, to help bring forth this gospel, this ministry to the four corners of the earth to save the Israelites from the four corners of the earth by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Right? But again, so next Tuesday at even is the Feast of First Fruits, ladies and gentlemen. Next Tuesday at even is the Feast of First Fruits, ladies and gentlemen. Babu Shah. Make sure you tap into that. Make sure you remember that. Mark it down on your calendar. If you ain't got a calendar, get you a calendar. I got a calendar over there. Literally, first thing I see when I enter my house, and I got a personal calendar over here to my right for like my little office space area, for like personal things I gotta remember and stuff like that. And then I also got little planners and whatnot. Man, listen, if you remember to do anything, remember to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Remember to keep these high holy days. Remember to love each other. Remember to be joyful. Remember to be long suffering. Remember to be merciful, forgiving, etc. All right, all praise to the Most High God. Before we get out of here, man, let's get hashtag back to the Bible basics in the chat. Oh no, back to the basics in the chat. You feel me? And if you're watching this on the replay, man, make sure you hit that like button, man. Share the video. All right. Make sure you hit that like button and share the video. All right. But without any further ado, man, again, I give all praises. We give all praises. We give all honor. We give all glory to the Most High God in heaven, whose name is Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shah Mashiach. The world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We'll say Shalom.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Khan. Shabbat Shalom. Khan.
Ahabatam.
Ahawatha. Israel Khan.